Yeah, so
We're gonna have a little interview now with Chad Price.
Chad Price.
Yes, and we're going to talk about your new release song. First of all, how are you today?
Thank you for asking. I'm doing quite well. It's about midnight here in Toronto at the moment, Toronto, Canada. But yeah, happy to be here with you. Thanks for making some time for me.
That's so awesome. But you know, before going to the interview, I've listened to your song and it's really great. You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's cool. And I've read
Broken Open.
Yes.
Cool, man. And we're going to talk more about that.
Thank you.
Know, can you explain to us what the story behind Broken Open to you?
Sure. Yeah, Broken Open. First of all, thank you for listening. I appreciate you just making some room in your life for my little song. So that means a lot. Broken Open, I made this song about, you know, me having some issues with my mental health. It's me really acknowledging some stuff that I had been sweeping under the rug about, like, not really loving myself as much as I should, and trying to figure out why that is. Why don't I feel this love towards myself? Why do I feel disconnected towards everyone around me? Why do I feel like I'm in this box where I'm unable to be myself or express myself or feel love or love myself? So Broken Open kind of explores those themes, and I think ultimately at the end of the song brings people together, in that it acknowledges that, you know, everyone has something that they're dealing with. Everyone is at times a little bit broken, and maybe we need to go through feelings of being broken in order to evolve into the people that we need to become. Sometimes it's just necessary to go through that struggle. And it's a struggle that we all, you know, it's so unifying. It's something that we all go through. So why not talk about it? Why not express it? Why not get it out in the open, and let's all connect over this common struggle that we all have. And I hope that it makes people feel good and feel seen and a little bit more understood, and that it's a cathartic release, because that's kind of what it is for me. It feels like a release.
Wow, this is so deep.
This is so deep, you know. You express your
feelings,
your struggle into songs. You know, you make something that you think a problem into an artwork. You know, and we really appreciate
that's
that.
not it's not everyone could do that. How do you feel after making this beautiful song?
Thank you. I feel proud of myself for making this song. Just you know, for being able to dig deep and be vulnerable and super personal, more personal than I've been on anything in the past. So that was a challenge for me. It was a challenge for me to actually go there and allow myself to talk about this to so many people. It's one thing to talk about it privately with a friend. It's another thing to put it into a song that's going to be heard by a ton of people. So yeah, I feel proud of myself for going there and for expressing and releasing this out into the world. It's, I guess that in itself is an accomplishment, regardless of, you know, what numbers it does or this or that or awards. It's just an accomplishment that it exists and that people are experiencing it.
Yeah, because, you know, nowadays mental health awareness is it's more like talk of the town, you know, Ghea.
Yeah. So we actually has this kind of struggle, of course, especially the self-love thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to appreciate that you made this struggle, especially in self-love, to a song that we all can relate to.
Yeah, and we wanted to know, is there any other musicians that participate in writing the song as well?
Yes, there are a few other people that were involved in this. Thank you. I'm glad that the song means so much to you. It's heartwarming. I made this song with my producer, actually, the same person who produced the song. His name is Matthew Johnston. We produced it in a city, my hometown, actually. It's called London, Ontario, Canada. And we produced that there, and we wrote it together. Our style is basically, I come in with a song. It's mostly written by me, And then Matthew kind of helps me craft it, helps me refine it, helps me get it past the finish line. Basically, that's our relationship as a writing duo. So I came into the studio one day and I had this song and I thought it was pretty good, pretty great actually. And Matthew told me, it's a good song, but why don't you just say what you're actually wanting to say? Why don't you say how you actually feel rather than rather than being so clever and a wordsmith? And you know, there's something to being a clever wordsmith in songwriting, but there's also something to be said about just being direct and being open and being honest. So I went back to the drawing board and I came back with this, and it was just kind of, it was more direct and honest and authentic. And I'm glad that Matthew pushed me the extra mile to go there, and I think it made the song a lot better. And yeah, very grateful for my pal Matthew for helping me write this song.
Wow. So I just look up on YouTube, you know, that the song is really just released this month. Is this your first release in 2022 or
this
maybe any other release that you have?
Yeah, no problem. This is not I've released a couple songs in 2022. I've actually released 4 singles. The first one was in October, the end of October of 2021. That was called Somehow, Some Way. And that song has made a big impact out in the world. I'm proud of that one too. And then in 2022, I released 3 singles, one being I Live Alone, one being a song called Wait, and then this last one, Broken Open, was the 4th single that I've released since October. So I've been slowly releasing singles for like the last 7 months, basically.
Wow, you're so productive, you know.
Yeah. Oh my god.
yeah. It's been fun.
Is this your kind of hobby though, singing itself?
It was a hobby. Singing was actually, it's weird. Singing was something that I didn't do until like my early 20s. My family didn't know that I could sing. I barely knew, honestly, I barely knew that I could sing until I was inspired one day and decided to sit down and write a song and try my hand at singing, and realized that there was just enough there for me to realize like, oh, if I actually worked on this, I could cultivate something kind of pretty good maybe with my voice. So I decided to work on it and eventually became a decent singer. But I was just a hobby guitar player. I played guitar for fun, and then I started to discover new music and was inspired by people like John Mayer, Nora Jones, and D'Angelo, and that kind of made me take it more seriously. And ever since then, singing and playing guitar has become a profession. I've been doing this now for a decade professionally.
Wow.
And yeah, it's crazy that I've been doing it for that long. I mean, I'm still a young man, but it's been a while of me just navigating the industry, becoming a better songwriter, a better performer, all of that. So yeah, it's what I do now.
But do you have any plan on making the music video for Broken Open?
I do, yes. We're working on it as we speak. It'll be out very, very soon. There's a bit of a delay, but it's on the way. I think you're gonna love it.
Wow, we are surely looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I can't wait to show it to you. It's coming.
Okay, so we heard that you also share the stage with other singers such as Ben Harper, The National, Loud Luxury, Walk of the Earth, Ghea. So how did it feel, you know, to be able to share the stage with such a great musician as well?
Very humbling. Very humbling to share the stage with people of that talent and that caliber. I just feel fortunate that I got to be that close and to see it in real time, and to, you know, get advice from these people and you know, just have a helping hand. It's awesome just to be, you know, to get those opportunities, because they're rare. So when I do get those opportunities, I just try to absorb as much information as I can, you know, try to make those connections and learn from them, because they're all really, really great at what they do. So I hope more of those opportunities come knocking on my door soon.
Yeah, I feel like it will be such a milestone for your career as well, you know.
It will, yeah, and I'm sure they'll come. Like, if things continue to go the way they're going, I'll be sharing the stage with some more people very soon.
we hope that.
Yeah, of course. Is there any
Yeah.
challenge when you make the songs, like obstacle maybe or something?
Yeah.
Challenges when making the song?
Yes.
Yeah, when recording as well.
Yeah, the challenge, I think the biggest challenge was to write a song that was that personal to me, honestly. And I know that might seem odd because I'm a songwriter, and most songwriters, you know, earn their life is being vulnerable and talking about these things, but there's varying degrees for artists as to how far they are comfortable with going. And I'm someone who's relatively private, even though I am a songwriter, and I put boundaries, you know, boundaries. We should have boundaries in many areas of our life, but in my songwriting, I had a lot of boundaries that I think didn't allow people to connect as much as they otherwise could have. And on Broken Open, I kind of got rid of those boundaries to a large degree, and just put it all out there. Talked about, you know, the mental health struggles and things that I'm uncomfortable with talking about. Well, I was uncomfortable with talking about. I'm learning how to become more comfortable with talking about. So that was the challenge, just being able to write such a personal song, I think. So I was able to do it, and it's out there, mission accomplished. And I hope to just continue to be more comfortable with being vulnerable as we move on. And that's kind of what the song talks about too. It's not about resolution. It's not about resolving these things. It's about acknowledging them and, you know, making it a commitment to work on these things. And I'm still working on things in real life too.
Yeah, but because, you know, I've been there before, you know, like struggling in my life. You know, if I can take out some of your lyrics in Broken Open, you said that you wrote, nobody's gonna fix me, so I gotta check my ego, try to act like I don't feel things, but I'm so emo,
man.
like so deep, you know.
This is so cool.
Thank you.
And then the part when you say that I just want to be happy, it's all saying that we all want it to be happy, but
we cannot find a way.
Yeah, we just don't know how.
Yeah. So why is it so hard to just, you know, be happy, to live a life where I can just be happy and comfortable and good with myself? It's this for some reason it's this great challenge. And I'm glad that you can relate to that. And about the lyrics that you just mentioned about, you know, not being able to feel, but I'm so emo. Like that's how I often feel. Like I pretend like I don't feel things. I put this box over me and pretend like this doesn't affect me and that doesn't affect me. But the reality is I feel everything. I feel everything too much. I'm almost too sensitive to everything. So it's like me trying to grapple with how to deal with all of these emotions, and like I need to allow myself to feel that rather than pretend like I don't, or just push it aside. Like it's a good thing to feel those things. So I'm trying to like encourage myself to allow myself to feel, because that's how we should be, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's what matters the most, you know, to acknowledging your true feelings and
being honest
to yourself. So actually, Ghea, I want to know, like, are you that type of musicians that come up with the melody first, or do you come up with the lyric first, you know, when making new music?
Good question. Usually I am a melody first person. I'll grab my guitar and I'll just start playing stuff, and then I'll know when I stumble upon a riff or a chord progression that is interesting enough, it'll start to speak to me on its own. Because I believe that. I believe that music without lyrics, it's saying, it's emotive. It's saying something. So I feel like my job as a songwriter is to, you know, match that feeling with lyrics that are personal to me and try to merge them, fuse them so that it makes sense. The best songs to me are when the lyrics sound like the melody and the melody sounds like the lyrics, when they're a good marriage, right? And I try to do the best that I could with Broken Open. It's a little bit of a juxtaposition though with Broken Open, because it is very feel good melodically and instrumentally, but lyrically it's at times kind of dark and heavy. And I kind of actually like that yin and yang, that light and dark, that happy and sad. I think it feels good on this song because that's really what life is, and this song is that. Yeah.
You finished this
Yeah.
sentence.
Oh my goodness.
You did. Yeah, you did. Nice.
As we all know that you released the songs in still in this pandemic era. Is there any thing that maybe affect your journey in this pandemic era?
Yeah, the pandemic definitely affected the process of making this song, but I don't think it affected me as much as some artists, thankfully, because it's not like I was planning to release an album right when the pandemic hit. I was already in the studio creating. So I was kind of already underground working on music when the pandemic hit. And what it allowed me to do was it gave me all this extra time, of course. So I was able to go back into the studio and refine all of these songs that we had been working on and just kind of inch them a little bit forward and make them a little bit better in whatever way, sonically or lyrically, whatever way we could do. So I'm thankful. Be careful with that. I'm thankful that I had some extra time to make these songs better. Of course, I wish that we didn't have to go through this pandemic. I would trade that in a second. I'd trade a slightly worse song to not go through a pandemic in a second. But I did utilize the time productively. Yeah.
I feel like you have still many more songs in your secret draft in your laptop. I feel like that. So what can we expect from Prize in 2022? Is there any plan to have a tour, world tour, or maybe a US tour?
Well,
can you spill us a little bit?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit. Well, you mentioned that there's probably a file or folder somewhere with some secret songs. Those secret songs are gonna become not so secret. I'm gonna release an album this summer. Actually, it's on the way. Really excited about that. That'll be out in August. It's called Introversion. Introversion. That kind of sums up who I am. And also, I feel like this upcoming album is an introductory version of me, pretty much. It's like me introducing myself in a way. Even though I have previous music out, I feel like the stuff that I've been working on lately is the truest version of me. I feel like after 10 years in this business, I have my legs underneath me finally. And I know who I am as a person and as an artist, and I can finally put something out there where I'm like, yes, this is me. This is how I want to. This is what the version of me that I want you to see and know.
Yeah.
This is Chad Price. So that's coming. I'm really excited about that. And then we're going to play a bunch of shows here in Canada to start. So a lot of Canadian shows, but we do have plans to come overseas in 2023. So working on that right now. Would love to come to Southeast Asia. Hopefully we can. We're working on it.
Oh, make sure that you put Indonesia in
on your list.
On your list, especially
for sure. Oh, we will not leave Indonesia off the list. I promise. We'll be there.
Yeah.
No, okay. This is we're talking about self-love from the first thing, and then I wanted to ask, like, do you have any tips though on how we could love ourselves even more in this era when pandemic is still going on, and then everything is basically affected by the pandemic itself?
How do we cope up with self-love?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's something that I ask myself a lot as well. And I think the first thing that we need to do is look at really look at ourselves, give ourselves a good hard look and acknowledge the things that maybe we've been ignoring or not putting enough attention on, the stuff that we've been just swallowing or sweeping under the rug. Just being honest with ourselves in that way first, because I think until you do that, it's kind of hard to give ourselves self-love if we don't first acknowledge those things. So doing that, and then acknowledging that life is hard and that most people are struggling with something. So you can be a little bit easier on yourself when you realize that this is not something that you're enduring alone by any means. It becomes less scary once you realize that everyone else is going through it, and then allowing yourself to talk about it with a loved one, with a dear friend, with a therapist, whoever can create a safe space for you. We need to be able to talk about this stuff, be able to put it on the table and not feel ashamed or guilty about it. And I just want to destigmatize all of it and make it normal to talk about these things. That's how we start on the path towards self-love, I believe, is being able to express it, talk about it. And yeah.
You know what, Ghea? You know,
Mhm.
I'm going to put this song in my playlist, you know,
Of
because I'm really
course.
relate to this. And we are so lucky to have you here, especially when we talk about mental health,
Yeah, it
because
means
most
a
people,
lot.
it means a lot to us because most people are experiencing that, you know, especially young generations. And we are looking forward to having you in our next opportunity and talk more about your music.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your
Thank you
time.
so
I
much.
appreciate you being vulnerable too and expressing your own issues. It means a lot to me. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your time as well. Thank you, Christine, for providing us the chance to talk with Chad.
Of
And
course. Thank
so, yeah,
you.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Barry. Thank you,
Chad,
Gina. Thank you
Have
so
a nice
much.
day.
have a
Bye.
nice
Have a
day.
nice day.